Through the serial killer exhibition. Firstly, it's the Ripper stuff, which is all wrong. They've kind of done an approximation of how Mary Kelly was found in 13 Miller's Court, but the room around her is entirely wrong. The wall was right behind the bed. The fireplace was over in that corner. There was a small table next to a bed there, and that was about it. So all this stuff, we didn't know the dimensions of the room, so you think they could have laid it out properly. So onwards, and then we have another complete mistake here, because all these images of the women in life, with the exception of the one of Annie Chapman, are generic images that were grabbed off the internet. Well, the one of Catherine Eddowes is from the Illustrated Police News, but this one, Mary Kelly, Polly Nichols, Emma Smith, and we don't know Emma Smith look like at all. All those ones, they're just nicked off the internet. They're just generic people. So we don't pay much attention to that. Then we go through to this big case of this Italian serial killer. I'd never heard of her before I came here, but they've given a lot of time over to her, maybe because the exhibition has been travelling all over the world and presumably it spent time in Italy. Hence that, but none of these are real artefacts, they're just similar ones. Although at this particular stage they're not claiming to be the real thing. Let me go through the stuff with Sutcliffe now. You'd find that the post-conviction items tend to be genuine, but all the things they're claiming are pre-conviction are replicas, or they're outright fake. No, but Baumeister, never heard of him. And it was in the US. Joseph Franklin, never heard of him. So these are the kind of things, they do these kind of artworks in prison and send them out. I do have some at home, which I bought, and not from the actual killers themselves. And so on we go. Here's all the stuff about Geen. Again, none of this stuff is genuine. It's all copies. Okay, well maybe that is genuine. Tin can found in Geen's house. But I've got a piece of glass from Geen's house. That's a replica. Likewise a replica. All this is fake. And this is where you start wondering about, you know, how real is this stuff, or indeed how respectful is the history here? You've got, you know, pretty grim stuff like Benny Sworden's dressed corpse there, and a rotting head in a burlap sack, and then you've got a waxwork of Geen which looks like he's got hydrocephalus. And then when it goes on, there's movie artifacts, things from Psycho, again replica, but a whole section about movie versions, stuff from Scream, Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th there, and you're thinking, what is the relevance? Then we get through to some of them, the ones that have medium knowledge. Look at the dust on this. Look at the dust on that. Human cells, that is. So Anatoly Neprienko, I guess that really is his watch. Ukrainian serial killer, the Ukraine's version of Andrei Chikatilo. Chessboard killer over there. Again, people I've not heard of. Some of them. Crosses made of breadcrumbs by Smirnov in prison. That's unusual. Computer don't know. There's a letter by Berkovitz there. Likewise, likewise, I have an envelope at home that's written by Berkovitz. I don't own a letter by him. And I've been to some of the murder sites in Queens. Mullin, again, I have something by Herb Mullin at home. I think it's a little piece of artwork on a index card or something. Okay, carrying on through here. Ah, there we are. Now, I missed this section. Oh, blimey, there's lots of stuff here I missed last time. Okay. So this is stuff I didn't see last time, so I'm going to go and spend some time on it. But first, I'm going over to the stuff on Haigh. Now, the interesting thing on the Haigh case is that this image at the very top in the middle, the one of him as a chorister at Wakefield Cathedral, I own the actual image, the original image that was taken from a postcard, and it's part of his family effects. That's my property. Presumably this is all replica stuff. Yeah, it's rather like I've done at Tussauds with Haigh. They've decided not to have a body. Look, his hand's fallen off. I did see the actual rubber apron at the Museum of London a few years ago when they had a thing with the Crime Museum. Likewise, supposedly carboys of sulfuric acid there. Yeah, none of that's genuine. And likewise, Carl Denker, it's a case I hadn't heard of. One I'll have to read up on. Danny Rolling, I do have an envelope written by him. I think there's artwork on it. He was executed about 20 years ago. Eileen Warnos there, again. A very famous case, but all this stuff is going to be post-conviction. Yeah, there we are. See, yeah. Likewise, the letter I think I got from Rolling is that he'd done this kind of fake Gothic calligraphy thing on it. And on we go with some more familiar cases. Dorothea Puente, the Black Widow in California. A synthetic pearl necklace she owned. Bob Bordella claims to be a power saw that Bordella owned. I'm not sure. It's got markings and things on it. But, yeah, jury's out on that one. Some of these things are definitely not real, but chances are this one might be. There's one of his business cards there and a hacksaw blade next to it. I'm not going to film the images there. It's ridiculous how in this exhibition they're covering up any mention of the word prostitute, yet they're quite happy showing scenes of torture and murder that were taken by the assailant. Unusual double standards. There's Bueno, but there's no mention there of Bianchi. Oh, yes, there is. He's in a little case there. Onwards to Heidnik, which is, again, post-conviction stuff. Randy Kraft. I have a kite from Kraft at home. A kite is a note that's passed between cells. So I've got a handwritten thing, and not this. That's typewritten thing there. Schaefer. I have stuff from a Schaefer at home. But not a ring. Not a ring though. That's just a train going overhead, adds to the atmosphere. And then Bridgeway there, the Green River Keller. Again, pictures taken by Schaefer of the victims. It's not good. Some of this stuff is on display. And there's Ramirez stuff here. Again, post-conviction, the stuff is probably genuine. And again, a wax figure of him, which isn't that accurate. I think the head needs stretching a bit. Onwards to Bundy. No, almost certainly, yeah, this letter's genuine. Anything written by Bundy, there's a massive premium on the price. I do own flecks of paint from Bundy's prison cell and the death chamber at Stark Prison, but nothing written by him. Likewise, a replica of Bundy's car. You think that they're moving this car all over the world. How much that's going to cost them extra. In fact, they've done a lot on Bundy, which isn't really a surprise. No. There's another thing that this is passing its off as being the actual murder kit that was used by Bundy, and having seen some of the other exhibits in here that claim to be genuine and know full well they're not, I am pretty sure this is not real. It's just replica. There we are. See, I've got, these are things written by Gerald Schaefer. I've got the same thing, paint chips from the cells and stuff. Again, not genuine, which is not a bad thing. And a Raider here. Kemper there. Now, I don't think I actually do own anything that Kemper's written. I might do, but I'm not aware of it. To the floor above. And again, the stuff on Gacy, the idea of having the pogo figure shoeless by itself in a corner with scabs either side screams to me it's deeming itself as a photo opportunity. They've considered all this. One of Gacy's originals. And an interesting reconstruction of the kitchen. If you've seen the video of the exhumation of the bodies in the crawl space, you'll realise that this is not what it was like. The crawl space was a little higher than this, not hugely, but a little. And all the bodies were buried. They weren't just in states of mummification like this. They were in damp stages of decomposition. It was. I mean, that's bad enough, but it was worse. Onwards, stuff with G.G. Allen there. Again, a letter from Gacy there, which I do have an example of at home. His business card. That'd be a creepy thing to own. There's more on Gacy here. And unsurprisingly onto Dahmer. Likewise, like Geen and Bundy, Dahmer memorabilia has a massive premium on it because it's so collectible. So I don't know anything to do with Dahmer, but that's a letter written by him. So this is a Bible that was sent to him by local kids. I don't know if they're local. Sent from kids to a church group after he was baptized. So, yeah. It's claiming to be a recreation of Dahmer's kitchen. And the mattress. See, just get any old mattress, cover it in bits of paint, and stick it in a corner like a haunted house. And then say, this is a replica. Well, it's not really, is it? This is very much like one of the drums that the forensics team were taking out of the apartment. Dahmer's glasses, or at least a pair of them, or at least saying it is. Then going on to the Monster of Florence, again an Italian case, which is not really as well known as you'd expect outside of Italy, presumably because of the international touring, and they've given quite a lot of space over to this particular case. Although there's not a great deal of actual evidence they've got on show here, crime scene photographs and things like that, and fragments of clothing belonging to the killers. That's okay. That's a bit. But this is why I realised on the last visit I hadn't visited that room, but of course I've done it now. Let's go back down, see what more of the exhibition I've got to cover. It was by this point, the last time I visited, I suddenly thought, you know, I've had enough of this. This is getting too dark. Right, and now on to Dennis Nilsen. I mean, yeah, a lot of this stuff will be genuine, some of it's not, and I did some checking afterwards. I've got so many letters that Nilsen wrote to me at home in files somewhere. I didn't know how to feel when he died, because I've been in touch with him for years before, but at the same time, he was a serial killer. So, you know, I'm meant to feel sad or not. That's his later typewriter. Now, this is meant to be genuine, and it's not. I've checked the actual photos. It's not the same knife sharpening block. It's not the same tie, and presumably that means it's not the same knife either. They've been laid out the same, but they are not the ones in the evidence photographs. So there's something for you. That's not very pleasant. I'm going to do this because I've always come as having no chance at all of being a psychopath. So here we go. So there we are. There's my results. I've done the test. 0 antisocial, 0 psychopathic, 0 total psychopathy, 0%. So we are. So yet again, I'm not a psychopath. Whittaker and Norris. I have things from both of them. I have massive bit of doodly cartoon artwork from Roy Norris. I have some of Whittaker's hair, which he pulled out of his head and sent as a souvenir to someone. They're both dead. I think I have artwork in inverted commas by Otis Toole. I definitely have a slip that was made out by Henry Lee Lucas. Scary. I mean, all 4 of these men are very scary. Very, no, not nice. And they're all dead now. All of them were sentenced to death, and none of them actually got executed. They all died before the sentence was carried out. It was unexpected. Toole and Norris were not sentenced to death. In fact, Norris was a free man when he died. They're all dead though. Right. On to the west. Of course, I'd been to where 25 Cromwell Street stood. Apparently, it's very faint, but there's writing from Rose West there. Apparently, wallpaper from the house. Stuff from Brady and Hindley. I don't have anything to do with Brady. I do have a letter written by Hindley to her sister Maureen. I have a copy of a cassette that Brady made to someone he wrote to. And I have been to the site of where 16 Walbrook Avenue was. That was many years ago. Douglas Clark and Carol Bundy, I mean, she's dead. She died over 20 years ago in prison, and he's still on death row. Again, post-conviction letters. And now we say Sagawa. Interesting that the information on this board is claiming he's still alive, although he actually did die several years ago. to Manson. A guitar signed by Manson, presumably one from Vacaville. I do have a sketch of a spider drawn by Manson. Rod Farrell, who I've never even heard of. Oh, I thought he was a vampire. All that stuff basically saying that he's got mental retardation. Yeah, that looks normal, doesn't it? Over to Klaus. This purports to be the actual type of early computer that Klaus used to reel in his victim. And more Klaus stuff, but as Klaus is such a major media whore anyway, that's not really surprising. I think he's actually been at this exhibition as well, like signing books and posing for photographs, and that's a bit, yeah. There's Harker, Chikatilo, and Shawcross. Chikatilo stuff is this replica. The Shawcross is just a letter from prison. I think, again, I've got a drawing done by Shawcross at home. Then we go on to this very weird, disturbing case. Anatoly Moskvin. Again, a case I hadn't heard of, but he didn't kill anyone. He just got the bodies of children and dressed them up in clothes and stuff like they were still alive. There's a grave robber, basically. A bit like Ed Gein in that respect, but I like that somebody actually put a complaint about the exhibition here by uploading an image of that, saying this is the condition of the dummies. Let me get on to the cannibal case in Germany. Armin Meiwes, or however they spell his name. The house no longer exists. It got destroyed in a fire a few years ago. But this is the cannibal who actually wanted a willing victim. And again, these claim to be the actual fridge and the freezer that you store the body parts in. I mean, there's a police label on that, so you know, potentially true. I mean, that's grim, isn't it? Ay. Artifacts from this house, again claiming to be, but they could well be. I've seen video of the actual house before it got destroyed. It was just left as an open ruin and people just go in and walk around doing urbexing. So undoubtedly something's got taken from there. And this is where they do the UK also runs, which weird, really, because some of these cases are really big, important ones. There's a few here I haven't heard of, but generally these cases actually deserve more than just a banner. Here, for example, not a single mention of Amelia Dyer, who probably killed more than Shipman, but hey ho. Peter Manuel, there's an audio recording done in whilst he was awaiting execution that was done in Barlini prison. I've got that on my YouTube channel. I remember that one in 2006. It's happened over a couple of weeks or a few days, I think. Wolfman London, nope. Wasn't aware of him. Robert Black. That bastard. I mean, he's long dead, thankfully. You've got Patrick McKay, who is a really scary case. I mean, one of the most notorious and scary images of a serial killer ever taken. I mean, look at that. He's still alive and is petitioning for release. Thomas Neil Cream, also a very weak suspect for being the Ripper. And the fact that Christie only manages one banner down there, with the infamy of the case. Guess they couldn't find anything to put up on display. Likewise with Shipman and Bible John. Difficult ones to find artefacts from. Now in the case of the female serial killers, I was wondering how Joanna Denny hadn't been mentioned. But this case here I'm not aware of. A letter from Susan Atkins. It's amazing how much she got religiomania afterwards. It just shows that she wasn't free from what I would deem cultism. Carol Bundy's got another mention there. Again, it's all letters done from jail. Now, I'm not intending to make light of the situation, but this is Dana Gray, a serial killer in the USA. Has anyone else seen Dawn French? There's letters and some pictures from various SKs. Which is just some photographs. Again, never heard of him. Okay, that's just a pair of white socks, because he always had a fetish of them. Nothing to do with him, just white socks. Great. Bobby Joe Long, I have heard of him. Some more post-conviction stuff. Craigslist killer. Two Craigslist killers. Okay. Bailikish. Again, it's just a model of an oil drum. Not actually his. I'm sure that wouldn't exist anymore anyway. Again, cases I'm just not aware of. Dennis Rader's. Oh, yike. So that's the model of Dennis Rader's torture chair there. Holmes's Murder Castle. Holmes's Murder Castle. Da, 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 da. I've been there. Artifacts claiming to be Albert fish, but they are not. They're not real, because if they were real, we'd have seen pictures of them before. So it's meant to be Dahmer's shrine, which is actually a very good reproduction from the drawing. They've done well on that one. Now we're going through the psychology of it. Okay. That's nice. I assume that's something to do with phrenology. Darwinism. Forensics. I mean, these are all models. Yeah, okay, thanks for that. Oh, okay, so these are used in forensics for teaching students stages of decomposition and recovery of bodies looks like. Oh God, that's all about bugs found in decomposing bodies. That's grim. Really bad taste. Ooh. Notorious serial killers that are still out there. No, I have a friend called Jeff Davis. I think there's something he's not saying. Oh, this interests me. Fan mail sent to laundry. Can't read it, of course, because it's in French. More stuff from Ramirez. And fan mail sent to Dahmer. Zodiac. I went to one of the sites in San Francisco, and it's Paisnell, the Beast of Jersey, and I went to his house last year when I had extreme sunburn. And here's freaky stuff. There's a replica of a gas chamber. You'd like to sit in this chair. Comfy enough chair. Not that you're going to be in it for long. firing squad there. That's, yeah. Gallows there, lethal injection there. Clothing out by Krista Pike. These are the bottles of the chemicals used in lethal injection, but I have a feeling that they may not be full. And there's the one that freaks me out most of all. Ay, 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 ay.